Dear students, we will be covering in this module the issues related to technology among elderly population. The learning objectives of this module covers mainly the social, economical and health related benefits that information and communication technology can provide, and also role of ICT among elders. Then finally, what are all the different assistive technologies that are available and which are to be adoptable by elderly people in our society. As you all know that the aging of the population presents many challenges in the age of technology. The technology can enhance the health and quality of life of older people. Unlike developing countries, the developed countries are surpassing the use of technology among elderly. Inclusion of information and communication technology in the life of elderly can help them to live good quality of life. Also, there is a growing evidence from various research studies that technological supports can significantly bring about benefits for older people, while at the same time it also improves the cost effectiveness of various health and social services. In that sense, given the technological revolution that is taking place in developing countries and as well as developed countries, it is highly relevant for us to focus on how the elderly population can adopt and use the various technologies that are available for their communication, transportation and other various day-to-day life situations, so that they can enhance their quality of life. And furthermore, when we are talking about various issues related to development, the technological advancement and the development in various infrastructure facilities that exist in our society, we have to work it out how best we are able to provide for all sections of population the benefits from these advancement in science and technology. One of the aspects which we need to know is that how far we are creating an inclusive society where the fruits of development can be accrued and everybody in the society can get a benefit of this development. One of the sections who are marginalized and also who are vulnerable in not able to access and utilize these type of benefits are, along with the other sections, are elderly people. And elderly, given their physical conditions and given their socio-economic living status and also the way in which their exposure to the technology and its advancement, it becomes a huge challenge for them to directly benefit unless some significant interventions takes place, so that they will be connected to the mainstream by adopting and also enhancing the skills and tools for obtaining the necessary expertise in the use of the science and technology. The actual and potential growth of ICTs is seen by Davidson and Santorell to confer a number of social, economic and health related benefits for elderly. It is very important that through the benefit of the usage of these technologies, it will greatly help in increasing connection to various issues related to family and friends. Feeling of relevance and interactive outlet to the world is one other important dimension that we need to understand. Access to e-services such as commerce, personal finances, medication and employment, these are some of the advantages which comes out to the elderly due to advancement of technology. Furthermore, it also helps in improving their health, their wellness and adopt strategies to prevent these diseases and other issues that adversely affect in their way of living. Also, it requires that the benefits to society at large through healthcare savings, workforce participation by seniors and senior related content and services in the various aspects of life can greatly help the elderly if they adopt these technological aspects for their favor. Helping older people to remain independent and age in place is widely recognized as an important aspect to the quality of life of individuals. Solutions that help older people to remain at home are of interest to health policymakers due to potential cost saving over more expensive care in institutional settings such as nursing homes. Rosenberg, Kotorp, Wimblard and Nygaard in 2009 have stated that the development of new technology holds significant promise for increasing quality of life in old age. Older adults often benefit from using information and communications technology. Applications such as emails and video calling services such as Skype and to remain in contact with their family members and friends, and those who use ICT appear to experience positive impacts on their level of participation in voluntary, social, religious and political activities, clubs and organizations. Older people, especially those who are geographically isolated or have limited mobility, could greatly benefit by feeling more connected, empowered and independent through using ICT to access information and services. Even in developing countries, given the infrastructural facilities at low level, it is very important for us to see that besides promoting the advancement in technology, it is also important how best this technological advancement is benefiting and helping the vulnerable sections like elderly. In that context, the emergence of geronto technology has been shown to be a possible solution for the aging related health and family and social burdens. Geronto technology combines gerontology and technology and involves the research and development of techniques, technological products, services and environments based on knowledge of aging processes. For instance, decline of physical and cognitive functions due to aging and sickness can be partially compensated for by assistive and health technologies, and consequently older population can stay longer in their own homes. In that regard, when we talk about aging at place, it is very important how the technological advancement can greatly be benefited the elderly population in the area, and furthermore how best this technological advancement will see that these elderly people in their day-to-day life can get the benefit from these technologies. In that sense, the development of telecommunication, especially for elderly patients to connect with health professionals, caregivers, and in that process they can accomplish the shift from traditional institution-based healthcare to home or community-based healthcare, which is the need of the hour. As we all know that institutional care is very costly, and also it becomes very difficult when we talk about access to all the elderly people. That is why aging at home is the best solution through which we can see that the elderly people can continue to stay in their own places, and the technology and various other services we can evolve in such a way that they are at a doorstep to serve this elderly population. That is why the concept of aging at place is gaining its momentum, and there are efforts both nationally and internationally to work out appropriate policies and programs to suit and to see that how elderly people continue to live in their own places, so that the reliable services and also the technological issues can reach out. In this process, to see that the various services reach to these elderly, the technology greatly helps in connecting them. In addition, communication technologies like mobile phones, computers and the internet services greatly enable elderly to establish remote connections with family members and friends and go some way towards meeting the need for social interaction. For instance, given the rural-urban migration that is happening and in most of the developing countries, which is a day of the hour, what it requires is when youth population, especially the young family members, when they move out of the place of origin, they land up in nearby towns or in the faraway urban areas. What it happens is they are mostly, they leave their families, especially the elderly and other marginalized groups, in their place of origin, and they are along with their immediate family, which mainly includes their spouse and the children, they will be leaving to place of destination, so that when they go, they will try to continue to have contacts with the elderly and other members who are left out in the place of origin. What it implies is that when the communication technologies through mobiles and computers and the internet are the major bridge between the two generations, especially when the migrant moves out, the migrant can always contact by using these technologies, so that the elderly will be well connected on day-to-day basis also. It is very common to see that there will be regular calls and there will be regular interactions between young and old. In that process, the intergenerational bonds will be intact, and the geography doesn't matter for such promoting the intergenerational bonds. And furthermore, wherever it is required, the young members will continue to send their financial support to the elderly people, and through communication they will be able to continue to contact and get their regular advice, and also to see that their physical security and other quality of life indicators are taken care of, and this way it becomes very easy for elderly people to continue to stay, though the young caregivers are not immediately with them. So this is one of the advantages that technology has greatly helped, not only in developed countries given their high affordability, but also in developing countries where the communication technology has penetrated in nook and corner of the societies. It is obvious that use of technology by the elders can not only help to satisfy their demands and requirements, but also has the potential to give support to caregivers and to reduce spiraling healthcare costs. For instance, when the young caregivers are also working, it is easy to contact through mobiles or computers and internet in the workplace, where they can continue to stay and they can always connect to the elderly who are left in their homes, so that their needs, their safety and also their issues on regular basis they can monitor, and also get the necessary guidance from them, and also support them, and also instruct them what are all the issues and safeguards they have to take care of when they are continue to stay in their absence. In that sense, this will greatly help for the maintenance of the contacts between young and old. In the same way, the communication also will help caregivers in getting the necessary services for the elderly people, and to see that these services are utilized to a great extent. For instance, wherever their hospitalization is there, or wherever the other service providers are required to get the benefit from them for their elderly, it is always advisable that they can adopt communication, so that the communication will greatly help them to be connected with various service providers, and that in that process that will relieve the burden of caregiving to a great extent. That is why the informal caregivers, especially from the family front, they can continue to be maintaining their own way of life. At the same time, in the midst of them, they can keep their elderly, so that the support systems can respond with by using medical technologies. This is one of the important aspects that bring lot of advantage by using communication that exists. Similarly, for instance, in the case of dementia, it is a age-related condition, and to the extent of 35 million persons worldwide, they live with this condition, and the number is expected to increase given the high population aging that is occurring in our societies to an extent of 65.7 million by 2030. These projections clearly shows that dementia is, incidence of dementia is increasing day by day, and in this process, the application of technology for people suffering with dementia will address greatly the issues related to safety and their security. What are the compensation systems for older population? These compensation systems can help greatly to compensate for impairment in the ability to navigate, to manage a daily schedule, to complete a multiple tasks, to recognize faces, to locate objects. Most of these systems aim to assist people who can no longer safely find their way around because of either sensory difficulties such as diminished vision or mobility impairments that make walking difficult. A major goal of these systems is obstacle of avoidance. Less work has been done on systems that provide navigational support to people with cognitive impairment, but one interesting example of such a system is the Intelligent Mobility Pattern IMP, which was brought out by Morris et al. In 2003. Similarly, we need to discuss about schedule management. A second type of compensation system helps users who have suffered from memory decline that makes them prone to forgetfulness about routine daily activities. In particular, schedule management systems remind people when to take their medicine, when to eat meals, when to take care of personal hygiene, when to check in with their adult children, and so on. Early schedule management systems used aids and equipments like alarm clocks, calendars, buzzers, etc., depending on the location and context in which the elderly and the other members of the family are living. The other aspect is activity guidance systems. Wherever schedule management systems provide a user with prompts to perform suitable multiple activities during the course of day-to-day, daily guidance systems are geared towards providing reminders about consecutive steps in individual activities. As such, these systems tend to be aimed at people with more severe cognitive impairment. The potential of a ubiquitous computing system that includes mobile computing devices and real-time context-aware computing is another dimension which we need to discuss. For example, by collecting and providing appropriate information, new technologies can assist individuals and make lifestyle decisions which may help in the treatment and management of obesity, heart disease, diabetes, stroke, and certain cancers. Assistive technologies for older people are many, and they are to be promoted, especially in developing countries like India. Just as older people may have many different types of disabilities, many different categories of assistive technical devices and services are available to help overcome those disabilities. The assistive technologies mainly include the following: adaptive switches. It's very important that modified switches that seniors can use to adjust air conditioners, computers, telephone answering machines, power wheelchairs, and other type of equipment. The tongue or the voice might activate these switches. That is why these are very increasingly to be seen in some of these sections of population. The other aspect is related to communication equipment. Anything that enables a person to send and receive messages, such as telephone amplifiers, is another equipment that needs to be attended to the elderly people in that context. The other aspect is about access to computers. Special software that helps a elderly to access the internet, for example, basic hardware such as modified keyboard or mouse, which makes the computer more user friendly, needs to be evolved, and such experiments are always in the market for the use of the elderly. The other aspect is in the field of education. Audio books or braille writing tools for the blind come under this category, along with resources that allow people to get additional vocational training. The other dimension is about home modifications, like construction or remodeling work, such as building a ramp for wheelchair access that allows a senior to overcome physical barriers and live more comfortably with disability or recover from an accident or injury. Home modifications are many. For instance, it can be in bathrooms, it can be in bedrooms, it can be in kitchen, or it can be for steps, or it can be for the immediate outside environment, so that besides the disability friendly environment, we also need to devise elder friendly environment so that the home and the other environment will make a lot of difference in enhancing the quality of life through the physical nearness to those services. The elderly can greatly benefit by moving out and meet their family and friends. In that process, the social participation of the elderly can be extended for a little larger elderly population. And if you look at most of the developed societies, the modifications in home or in the nearby is also visible, and that is one of the aspects where the elderly don't feel of their restrictions to mobility only in their home and not coming out of the home. The other aspect is various tools for independent living. Anything that empowers the elderly to enjoy the normal activities of daily living without assistance from others, such as the elderly having a handicapped accessible bathrooms with grab bars in the bathtub. These are all other issues that requires our attention. Mobility aids, any piece of equipment that helps a senior elderly get around more easily, such as power wheelchair, wheelchair lift or stair elevators comes under this category. The other aspect is orthotic or prosthetic equipments, a device that compensates for a missing or disabled body part will be categorized under this. This would range from orthopedic shoe inserts for someone who has fallen arches to an artificial arm for someone whose limb has been amputated. The other aspect is in the area of recreation. New methods and tools to enable people who have disabilities to enjoy a wide range of fun activities. For example, swimming lessons provided by recreational therapists or specially equipped skis for seniors who have lost a limb as a result of accident or illness can be considered as assistive devices in this regard. What about job related items which also have implications from technology? Any device or process that a person needs to do his or her job better or easier are related devices in this category. Examples might include a special type of chair or pillow for someone who works at a desk or a back brace for someone who does physical labor. The other aspect is related to seating aids. Any modifications to regular chairs, wheelchairs or motor scooters which helps a person stay upright or get up and down unaided, or that help to reduce pressure on the skin. This could be something as simple as an extra pillow or as complex as a motorized seat. The other aspect is about sensory enhancements. Anything that makes it easier for those who are partially or fully blind or deaf to better appreciate the world around them. For instance, a telecaption decoder for a TV set would be an assistive device for an elderly who is having a difficulty with the hearing. Similarly, the issues related to therapy, for instance, equipment or processes that help someone recover as much as possible from an illness or injury can come under therapy. Therapy might involve a combination of services and technologies, such as having a physical therapist to use a special massage unit and to restore a wider range of motion to stiff muscles for elderly can come under this category. The other aspect in the area of transportation, there are several assistive devices that comes under the transportation for the easy access for the elderly people. Devices for elderly individuals that make it easier for them to get into and out of their cars or trucks and drive more safely, such as adjustable mirrors, seats and steering wheels. The services that help the elderly maintain and register their vehicles, such as a drive-up window at the Department of Motor Vehicles, would also fall into this category. The benefits of technology-enabled services for older people needs attention from all of us. There is a growing evidence of the value of technologies such as telecare, telemedicine and telehealth to support older people with both physical and mental long-term conditions, and relief carers and their use is becoming more widespread. Several studies and reviews have clearly mentioned that these technological enabled services can improve the quality of life of elderly and their carers, reduces social isolation, increase perceived health status and security, and it also allows carers to balance care and work. It reduces hospital admissions, patients' length of stay in hospital is another dimension. The non-attendance rates of patients at consultations and the number of trips to the care center. Benefits that the broader sustainability of social and health systems and the effect of use of resources through the reductions described above needs our attention. There is a reliable evidence that some technology-enabled services for elderly at home do in fact improve the delivery and efficiency of health and social care systems, and it can be taken as examples of good practice for long-term care policies among various societies. The technology-based healthcare is another important aspect which is growing in our society. Healthcare technologies can help prevent, detect, early cure, manage chronic conditions. The technology-based home care also refers to the use of ICDs to monitor well-being and to provide a secured home environment. Another important aspect is the technology-based wellness services like delivery services for healthier lifestyles to elderly at home. They include mainly cognitive and physical fitness and assessment technologies such as thinking and cognitively challenging games to maintain or improve cognitive health. Though these are all the issues that are there, only small percent of elderly people are using new technology to improve their quality of life. Maybe this is a major gap that exists which requires the attempt from all of us in handling these issues. As a summary, we would like to see that how best this technology can accessed by the elderly, and in that process we can expect greater utilization by the elderly people in using the day-to-day things of these things. In a nutshell, we can say that as a part of enhancing quality of life of elderly people, it is always better that how best we can see that the technology can be accessed by them, and in that way this acts as an important tool for enhancing their quality of life, and their life expectancy can further improve and good life for them can be provided by us.